What's up, people? I want to talk about a topic. There's a problem that has arisen that I hear also common with women, single women, about every last relationship they were in. I was in a toxic relationship. This term has been used over and over and over again by multiple women, indicating that all men are toxic and or masculine men are toxic. So what I want you to do, this is a problem that is being talked about. This is a problem that women share. I hear this all the time. I was in a toxic relationship. That's why it ended. He was toxic. He was mentally abusive. This and that. When you hear that, here's what you need to do, men out there. When you hear this from a woman, the first thing you need to find out is how many toxic relationships she's been in. Number one, how old is she? If she's in her 30s, chances are that she's the problem, 9 times out of 10. The third one is, what do you mean by toxic? If the first thing they say is he was mentally abusive, remember there's a thing called cause and effect. Now, I'm not saying this is the case all the time, the majority of the time, okay? This is the majority of the time. When I drill down and dig down deep, after speaking to a woman about her challenges and issues, 9 times out of 10, it was her. Why was he toxic? Okay, there's a cause and effect, which means what caused that individual to be toxic. Men are very simple. Men don't just decide to be toxic. Now, if there's behavioral traits that they have, those are things you need to vet out, ladies, when you date. You're the one that dated him, okay? If he's a bad boy, did you expect and think that you were going to change him? Do you follow me? So when I say women don't love unconditionally, and then they come back with, well, he was mentally abusive and he was toxic. Okay, I hear that over and over again. So when I talk to women in their mid-30s that have said they've been engaged before, they were in toxic relationships, they can't find a good guy, men, you need to run. They need help. And what they'll do is they'll spend the best hours, waking moments of their life talking with other women about their problem. They don't come up with a solution because they don't look in the mirror and realize that they are the problem. Okay? I'm not talking about the outliers. I'm not talking about the exception to the rule. I'm talking about the majority. I've met with and talked with multiple women in counsel sessions, coaching sessions, and podcasts, and it's the same thing. Oh, there's no good men out there. They're in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. They haven't met the right one. The stars have to align. It's not in God's plan. Blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, it isn't the men. It's you, ladies. It's you. I'm talking about the majority, not the exception. Okay? So when you come on these podcasts, when you talk about, oh, I love unconditionally, no, you don't. There's a reason why the man acted that way. 9 times out of 10, it was you. You're the cause. He was the effect. Well, he was physically abusive. Okay, now that makes sense. Got it. He shouldn't have done that. But again, cause and effect. Guys are simple. But if you abuse the relationship and create issues, controversy, problems, challenges, there's going to be an effect. That man is going to bite back. You may not like how he bite back. How he bite back is a direct response and you causing the problem 9 times out of 10. But the problem is women in general, the majority, will not accept responsibility for their actions. They are in denial. They live in this fantasy. Delusions of grandeur. There's no good men. Men just want to fuck. Men just want to have sex with multiple women. Well, those women that have sex with those men, it's their fault. Women control access to sex, not the guys. Women make the decision and choose who they're going to have sex with. If not, the men are raping them, right? So here's the problem. Guys, when you're dating girls, if they're, like I said, if they're in their mid-30s or later, early to mid-30s, and they've never been proposed to, formally proposed to. I'm not talking about a boyfriend that says they'll get married. I'm talking about he got down on one knee, he gave her a ring. Or they don't have children, and or both, or haven't been married. There's huge red flags there. And I need you guys to be aware of that. And I'm talking about the majority, not the exception. Because I always hear back from these, I know women that do this, that, and she was married. No, I'm talking about the majority. This is what I do. I drill down and research and find out what the challenge and the problem is, and why are you single? Why do you keep talking about you love unconditionally when you don't? Okay? So stop it. Get help. Go to therapy. Get a counselor. Do something. Do something. But you talking about it and complaining every week isn't doing anybody any good. And the same people you talk to about every week about your problems, the people you share with, and people see that, nobody cares. It's your problem. You need to fix you. It's like my shirt says, nobody cares. Do the work. Put in effort. Make a change. Change yourself. There's a lot of viable men out there that are available. But you, have a problem with yourself. And if you're still suffering from a past relationship, you need to get help. Okay? That's why nobody listens to you. And those of you know who I'm talking about if you're listening to this. If that's you, change. Make a change. Make a change. Make a change. It starts with you. Again, I'm talking about the majority. And every time I do this, I get these responses back from women that are in the exact situation I'm talking about. It says, no, this situation was different. So all of a sudden, all these women, every woman I talked to, they all were in toxic relationships, and it wasn't their fault. Bullshit. 9 times out of 10, after I spend 30, 45 minutes, even an hour with them, I find out they were the problem. Their expectations were out of line. They overvalued themselves. What they wanted, they can't have, and what they can have, they didn't want. And now they're talking about, oh, I haven't met the right guy, I haven't met the right guy. And God ain't going to send you the right man. You need to figure that out. And maybe he has, and maybe that person's your best guy friend. Well, he's not my type. Well, that's what you qualify for right now, is that type. So the solution to the problem, man, when you hear this, is you need to turn your back and run. Because you're going to be the next guy in the next conversation when you're with that lady talking about the ex-boyfriend and all the negatives about him. Because I found this out in the past. I have found that women I've dated that have talk trash about their ex, I mean, really done them dirty, okay? I realized after a certain amount of time that their ex wasn't really the problem. You know what I'm talking about? It was them. They were the problem. At first, I bought into the lie, went along with it. But over and over, it was the same thing. They talk about their ex. Oh, he did this, he did this. I'm like, wait a minute. What did you do to cause him to do X, Y, Z? And maybe he didn't do what you said he did, and maybe you're over-exaggerating what happened, and maybe you were the problem. Maybe you were the instigator and not even knowing it. So I encourage you guys, when you meet a gal that says, yeah, we left on decent terms. He relocated for an opportunity in New York. I had to stay in Los Angeles. Okay. Or, it just didn't work out. We had conflicts between each other, personality differences. Okay. But when they say, hey, he was toxic, the other guy was toxic. No, she's toxic. Stay strong, man. Find the solution to the problem. See how far the rabbit hole goes. Do your research. Do your due diligence, man. Make sure you try to figure out the challenges that she's having, and make sure it's not always her, because if it is, don't date her. Stay strong.